So now I've had a chance to run, I'd say 4 or 5 packs through the BBX. And when I say packs, I don't just mean the little things. We're talking full 5 amp 2S bricks. This thing is a peach. If you have a chance to get a buggy, if you have any kind of flat kind of gravel area, you can always put road tires on it as well, but it's just so fun in gravel. I've just wiped it down with a microfiber cloth. You wouldn't know it was absolutely filthy from today's driving. It's just perfect. It's such a nice car. Yeah, the diff was a bit of a pain. I didn't enjoy stuffing around with that, but then you know what? That's not true. I didn't enjoy having a problem, but I did enjoy coming up with my own fix. And so far, my cheap little fix has held up just fine. I have nice diff action. It hooks up. I haven't had a single problem with it, so that's great. The bearings are happy. No problems there. I haven't had breakages that I can think of. I'm just checking myself as I say it. No, I haven't. I'm running a 4300 kV motor. My friend Simon's running a 4000. I'm running a 4300. We've both been running on 2S and it's so nice. You've seen a bit of this. You've seen actually quite a bit of Simon's BBX as well. I got just some beautiful footage of that thing running. And his setup is a little bit more quiet than mine, but these are both just beautiful cars. The suspension's great, the steering's great. That little 12 kilo Enduro servo is just perfect as well. There's a JX servo I can link in the description as a great alternative. I've just discovered it recently. It's a cordless drift servo. It's really good, 12 kilos. And yeah, look, just watching this trailing arm suspension operating, the whole thing's just been a joy. I really like the BBX. I'm so glad I had to go at it. It's not the kind of thing I necessarily would have picked up, but I'm really glad I did. Now this was a kit build, and it was released in 2023. It's a brand new thing from Tamiya. We still have plastics, but in a first for me with the kits I've built with Tamiya, this thing has hex screws all the way through, which is great. The other thing that I found was interesting about this buggy is it has trailing arms. Look at that. Trailing arm suspension on the rear, metal dog bone drive shafts in the rear, and a rear motor because of course it's a buggy, rear wheel drive. Lovely thin little tyres up front and a very cute little finish on it. I've also got the ESC on a 45-degree angle in the back and there's a little fan there. It's just fun. Now the battery for this thing sits just there. Now I've discussed this thing on a live stream last year, late-ish last year, and I was talking about my diff issues. I think that's the first thing to draw your attention to because it was my only really negative point on this thing. It's a ball diff. I've had cars with ball diffs before and this is my 5th car with a ball diff I think, but it's my biggest car with a ball diff. And right now it still has a ball diff, but it doesn't have the Tamiya hardware in the middle because my Tamiya hardware snapped. The main shaft that goes into the little blue thing snapped, and I found that after assembling it, and I did it twice, just trying to work it out. I've said all this in the live stream, but this is the brief version. It was either really loose and the motor couldn't engage it properly, or it just tightened and tightened until it was rock solid, and then any variance would snap it, which is actually what happened when I was just testing it at low speeds indoor. So that was disappointing, but I did find just a cheap new bolt and nut did the trick, and since then it's been flawless, so fingers crossed, we're happy. Now it's CVD on the outside and dog bone on the inside for that rear drive shaft, and it's actually quite solid, especially when you consider that a 3.5 to 4000 kV motor on 2S for this thing is pretty much perfect. It still has that snappy punch that you get with brushless, but it takes brushless power, and I've used this thing a bunch. Now I've been showing you footage while I've been talking. I've driven mine with my friend Simon's. He and I have been driving ours together. We've got the standard empty tyres that are glued onto the wheels. We've got oil-filled aluminium shocks with adjustable preload, and there's a collar here where you can adjust. It's not thumb screw, it's just a collar, and it just kind of lets you tighten or loosen the preload. We've got no adjustability at the front as far as camber or toe, and I think it's the same story on the back, but that's fine because out of the box it just works. It just works. You can paint it the way they've designed it to be painted out of the box, or you can do your own paint job. In any case, there are a few pieces. There's this guy, there's the roof, and then there are the two sides and your rear pieces. I went with a light red to dark and then white to dark fade on the side pieces. Simon's car, which you've seen in the video as well, has just got standard, and I went with the blue and white on top, red lid, which I think in hindsight I should have made white, and otherwise the stickers really just help filter it out. Now you've got a standard size steering servo there, it goes down to your bell crank and then off we go. I'm using an Endura 12 kilo drift servo, and I actually quite like that. There's also a little shaft here. You pull this little pin out, and then you pull the shaft out, and then the entire front end of the driver, and once that's out, the entire driver part hinges up, and you can fit a full-size brick inside, which is this part of the car. It sits right there, and it'll take a full-size brick, 2S LiPo. You could set it up to run 3S, but truly 2S is perfect. It really is. The ESC sits back on 45 degrees in there. The radio is underneath the driver. You run the antennas wherever you like. I've got mine out to the side, then up straight. Now I put a receiver in here that has a gyro, and it was nice enough, but then I stopped using the gyro, and I've decided that I really enjoy this thing just without a gyro. Let me show you what it's like to drive. You've already seen since I've been talking, but just keep an eye on, just have a look at how it drives and you'll see. It's such a fun little car. Go Gorgon. Wow, the rooster tails, I love it. What a silly car. Oh no, it's not a silly car, it's a buggy. Let me try a bit more drier. Yeah, it jumps alright.
It steers like no other two-wheel drive Tamiya I've ever driven before.
It's pretty rapid in that steering department. These steering angles are pretty nuts. I love how quiet they are too.
Oh, they're smooth.
Oh, didn't like that chassis slap. Got him. That was our most careful low-speed collision ever.
Yeah. Interesting that we're both actually just taking it easy for the first.
Interesting. It's a pain in the ass to build some of it. I don't want to smash it straight away. Go on. No, it's good. It's all good. I think 4,000 is about right for these. Oh, such a rough landing.
I can't see much. I saw a flash of lights and I knew where it was.
Oh yeah, you're smart putting the lights in. I haven't done that yet. Oof. It's standing up to it so far. Oh, my tire's coming off. Nice, Nath. You've got some good driving going on there, buddy. So that's my take on the Tamiya BBX. What a pearler this thing is. If you enjoyed it, throw me a like. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you again on RC-TNT. Cheers.